Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, panelists. So today we are going to discuss the session topic is going to be blockchain, but beyond cryptocurrency. Usually, when we hear the word blockchain, we immediately think about bitcoins, right, or Ethereum. That is cryptocurrency. But can there be other usages of blockchain, right? So that is going to be the primary focus of this session and its application in the government sector as well as the private sector and also for research. So welcome everyone, right? And we are going to first have an introduction of our panel. First of all, we have Dr. P.R. Lakshmi Eswari. She is a highest grade scientist, that is scientist G, and she is right now a joint director in C-DAC Hyderabad. She is a key leader on the national blockchain framework and the Viswasya blockchain as a service stack. Then we have Mr. Arvind, who is Global Vice President, Blockchain Practice and Products at Information Data Systems, IDS, right? And right now he is associated with Bharat Blockchain Network and a revolution in education sector, that is polyversity, right? So then we have Mr. Chetan Sharma, and he's the Chief Operating Officer at the STPI CoE, which is like Ministry of Electronics and IT Center of Entrepreneurship. It's a center of excellence in blockchain. And well, he's doing a brilliant job at incubation, which is of special interest to the youth at this present premises, that is IIT, a lot of opportunities there. And lastly, we have Shri Amit Chandra, who is the Vice President, Blockchain Strategy and Delivery at IDS Inc. So welcome all. And we are going to begin with ma'am. Right? And ma'am, can you give a brief detail on what is this national blockchain framework? And when I was doing my research on blockchain, I came to know about this permission blockchains and permissionless blockchains. So ma'am, how does these two elements they sync in, ma'am?
Okay, thank you, Himanshu. Definitely, we understand that having attended you for the last session is difficult, but I think you are going to have some good take-backs with all of you. So bear with us for another 1 hour or so. So Himanshu has asked very interesting question. He is asking me to explain something about permissioned and permissionless, and one of the initiative of Government of India on National Blockchain Framework. Okay, so let me try to tell some story, so which makes you attentive or interesting. Talk about a nomadic age, okay, where human is not civilized and all. So where we have not created these institutions and other things. So when you talk about the people interacting in the nomadic age, they were not having the language, so they used to interact with the gestures and all, right, to carry out the various activities. And based on the gestures, they used to assess the risk, and then accordingly they used to trust the people. So that used to happen in the nomadic age. Over the period, what we have done with the human evolution and all, we have created the institutions. You all agree? Yes, we have created the institutions. We have our own languages and all for interactions. That is how we have evolved and we developed our societies, everything like that. So we have the institutions like colleges, banks, everything, which are acting like a layer of trust in order to enable the various services. We are no longer trying to have some human notion of trust based on some kind of gestures or something like that. So maybe let us say, I know Aravind. See, human notion works something like this. I know Aravind. If I say that I know Aravind to Himanshu, Himanshu starts trusting Aravind. But it is not scalable in the real world. So that's where we have these institutions and all, schools, colleges, banks and all, whom we are trusting in order to create these societies and other things and to carry out our day-to-day tasks. So, and these kind of things, like if you go to the banks and all, the people are verified and then they try to carry out the transactions because we are trusting banks. Rather than trusting other people, I am trusting the bank. So they maintain the transactions, everything. And then that is how we have created institutions for our activities. And later, with the IT evolution, the same central entities, banks and all, have become online activities in centralized servers and all. They are the trusted entities who are trying to manage the ledgers, everything like that. But what we felt is there is some kind of inefficiency in these kind of systems. The intermediates may throw some challenges, and there is a trust deficit in these kind of systems. That's a problem statement. If you say that, why blockchain kind of thing, then people felt that why don't we have that layer of trust created only through the technologies alone. That's where these distributed systems, then cryptographic algorithms, then amalgamation of all these things, hash algorithms and other things like that, advanced data structures, the blockchain is invented. So rather than having the things verified one entity and stored at a central place, why don't we have a distributed nodes trying to verify according to their consensus, agree to that transaction and then store it across all the nodes. That's where the blockchain come into picture. And as we are all aware, with the kind of cryptocurrencies and all, it's one of the successful thing globally. It is an open network. Anyone can be part of that. All nodes can store the ledger in a tamper-proof manner. At any point of time, without revealing my details, I can be part of the network. Just have some cryptographic address of mine is stored. No intermediates. All nodes will come, involve in the verification, and according to the consensus of all the nodes, the block will be added to the blockchain and it gets replicated across. So this is the one. So we call it as a permissionless. Anyone can be part of that. But we are talking about the government entities, institutions and enterprises, which are regulated entities. There is a governance and control. So in these cases, how do we adopt this kind of blockchain? So that's where these permissioned blockchains have come into picture. Now there can be a question, when there are centralized systems, why do you want to go to the permission? See, many times people feel that open network itself is a blockchain, where it is completely decentralized. It may not be the case, because see, when you talk about even open network, when more nodes are owned by one entity, it may not be again completely decentralized, right? So it varies. It's a kind of analog from centralized to decentralized. Even permission blockchain lies in between. See, when I say permission blockchain, it is not an open network. See, now let us say a property registration is one of the use case. Now, land records, transactions and all to maintain. There are various departments involved, stamps and registration department, survey department and other things like that. So, if you look at trying to maintain a blockchain across all these entities, where already these are all verified entities, they are not completely unknown entities. They are all verified, they are all working in some different areas. Some level of trust exists with these things, but you want to address some of the challenges, especially when you say at the one place, many times workflows is also scattered across all these things. Okay, they are not in a unified manner. So what happens in this particular case is, there can be a single point of failure and other things like that. To avoid that, to enable the trust where there is already some level of trust existing and enhance, we have this permission blockchain concept is come into picture, where you maintain the distributed ledger across all the departments, multi-party who are involved in that particular use case, and where you can avoid the single point of failure, and you are verifying each entity and keeping a track of each one's activity as part of that particular use case in a ledger. This again gives some kind of the accountability with each one of things. So there is a shared visibility of all the activities, and then you also have auditability aspects. So this is where the permission blockchains are relevant to the enterprises, where there is a regulations which are enabled, and we still want to use the blockchain for the more efficiency and some kind of trust. Maybe the citizens will have more transparency into your systems. So now this is something like that. Now coming to your Himanshu's second question about National Blockchain Framework. So looking at the benefits of adopting the permission blockchains in the government use cases, so where you would like to enable trust and transparency to the citizens in various the offerings of the government and other things, the government of India has initiated this National Blockchain Framework. The idea is, see, if you look at everyone has to host their own blockchain network and then have the technical capabilities and all, it's very, very difficult. So what is done in this is a technology stack, it's a low code kind of platform is built where it is extensible, multiple open source platforms can be onboarded. You can enable interoperability across the platforms. And also, if anyone want to build an application, the rapid application development can happen. Within a few hours, you can set up a blockchain network and then write the smart contracts with the templates and other things. That kind of technology stack is built with which is an initiative of MeitY. We are actually executing that particular initiative. So using this particular technology stack, actually various applications are developed and piloted across the various states, and this technology stack is also distributed across the various data centers at NIC. So this is briefly about the National Blockchain Framework, and many state governments are looking at this particular platform to build their own applications using the stack. Rather than restricting to one platform or vendor lock-in, we are looking at extensible so that any new platform also can be onboarded into the framework. So this is in brief about the National Blockchain Framework.
Thank you, ma'am. That was really enlightening. From a layman perspective, what I could understand is that the permission blockchains, they address the concerns of privacy, and that's why they are good for the objective of data protection with respect to private enterprises and also the sensitive public data which is there with the government. Whereas non-permission are open for everyone. So since we were having the last session on cybersecurity, so I think application-wise, the permission blockchains, they offer, I think, a better applicability. Is that understanding correct?
Yeah, definitely. See, now what happens is every entity is verified, the real world identity, whether it is Aadhaar based or anything, not just a crypto key or anything like that. See, now when you say that we are part of our institutions, we have a role in the institution, and we have to be authenticated, and then our activity has to be tracked. Is it right? So this can be done perfectly in this, and there are access controls based on our role. We can carry out that activity, and you have track of each and everything in time sequence, tamper-proof manner. And as you mentioned, privacy definitely can be enabled. You need not store everything on blockchain. You can off-chain data, and integrity checks of it can be put on the blockchain. Like that, we can plan the application properly.
Yeah. And when the second important thing which I understood is blockchain as a service. That means for the private enterprises, each and every private enterprise does not have to develop its own blockchain. It can use a pre-developed blockchain, BaaS, blockchain as a service, and they can, port their data onto that blockchain, and then they can use it.
Yeah, they can build the applications using that.
So that basically increases the speed of implementation.
Yes.
Thank you. Ma'am, can we have some insights into more case studies or pilot deployment using this permissioned blockchain, especially, let's say, in the government sector? One example, let's say, from the government sector, ma'am, and another from the private sector, permissioned blockchain.
Yeah, so we started with in 2017-18, we started with the land records. When at that point of time, we never thought about National Blockchain Framework also, because we were looking at how effectively we can utilize this particular technology, and we were trying to look for right use case. So then immediately we felt that the property registration can be one of the important use case. The reason being, first of all, not too many transactions per day, because we don't want to try where too many transactions happen per day, that kind of thing, because we know the limitations of the platforms and all. So, and another thing is there are various pain points like double registration, fake sale deed document, and insider threats. Many times SRO people compromise, kind of thing. So that's where we started with that particular use case, and successfully implemented, and it is one of the use case listed out in the global ISO document out of 22 first use cases of blockchain listed. And later we worked with the various departments like even e-voting. See, and another important thing which I would like to highlight is that when I look at a product, see, maybe property registration or maybe e-voting or anything, one technology alone will not be giving a complete solution. See, we require a combination of all these technologies. At the same time, cybersecurity is across all the technologies, you have challenges which we need to address. So when we talk about e-voting, Secret ballot, we can definitely in a tamper-proof manner, we can depend on this. But there are other technologies which are important, because when we go to the polling booth, there are various checks which are done. You are verified with multiple levels. Then you go to a point where you try to vote it. There is a VVPAT and other things like that. All these steps with the different technologies we have implemented, and we have successfully carried out the pilot. But definitely it will take some time to look at smartphone-based e-voting. It will take another 5 to 10 years down the line. But what we felt is, it is important to work in that direction, at least non-political elections, make it robust, address the various challenges, so that we'll be gearing up another 5 to 10. And we also had even mobile app origin verification, because fake apps is another problem. We tried with Madhya Pradesh for that, where citizen apps are given through the blockchain. Citizen can download through the blockchain and try to verify them, so that the fake app issue to some extent can be addressed. These are some of the unique things. There are various other applications which you have implemented as part of this.
So now I think I'm going to ask a question to Mr. Aravind, right? Whereby, small aspect, like when you're into, like, you have designed, this polyversity, right? Which people call that it's a revolution in the education sector. It creates a metaverse, right? Like a virtual university in the sense, and I think more than 100 universities are already on board, right? So from those experiences, like, what is the most important critical thing when it comes to making multiple companies or multiple institutions work together? Because today data is not centralized, right? Today data, it is distributed among different institutions. So therefore, what becomes the most critical bottleneck and the solution to that bottleneck कि पूरा ecosystem उस blockchain की data को मतलब use कर पाए?
Okay, so I'm sure all of the audience know that India is today kind of thriving on DPIs, right? The digital public infrastructure. And indeed, DPI concept was one of the inspiration point for us to look at Bharat Blockchain Network and polyversity, I would say. Because when DPI is built on a centralized architecture, where government is driving that public infrastructure layer and all the citizens leverage it, the next evolutionary step of DPI with blockchain coming into picture is DDPI, which is decentralized DPI, where along with government, the public and the private enterprises or the end users can also take part in the infrastructure. So this is the thought process. Now, if we see today Digi Yatra, for example, right? Digi Yatra as an application hits Aadhaar verification once and puts it on blockchain. And then every verification is basically not hitting the centralized system, but it is a DDPI, a decentralized DPI. So similarly, as a private company, obviously, we couldn't look into fintech or some sectors which are highly regulated. We saw education sector as a lightweight, less regulatory player where we can really go and try a decentralized DPI. So that is where we approached AICTE, the regulator of technical education. So first bottleneck for creating any permissioned blockchain infrastructure, right, at nation scale, the regulatory push is definitely required. When I say regulatory push, not in terms of defining regulations, but who is driving that consortium. So first we brought AICTE, convinced that with new education policy, inter-institutional use cases will open up. And that is where a blockchain infrastructure or a multi-party or a multi-university blockchain network is needed to experiment with such use cases. And that is where we started reaching out to a group of private universities rather than hitting the national universities, because again, getting into IITs or institutes of national importance to maintain nodes is again a different ball game. So that is when we started creating this private university as participants, maintaining nodes from their campuses, and then AICTE maintaining couple of nodes, and then we started building certain use cases. And polyversity is a university ecosystem metaverse. Again, we didn't hit the university certificates, which are again very sensitive use cases. Rather, we tried something, a very open use case called a ecosystem metaverse, where every university, participant university maintains a node, but also has a virtual land parcel, which is minted as an NFT on Bharat Blockchain Network. And then every student and faculty ID is mapped to a decentralized identity issued on Bharat Blockchain Network. So that whatever avatar which is entering into that metaverse is identified with real college ID. So this is what made, the universities really kind of geared up to try this use case, because it is not touching any sensitive use cases as such, but still we made universities to maintain nodes in their campuses. This is one success story, I would say. Second, we could bring 100 plus universities across 20 plus states in the country to stabilize the network layer, proving that a decentralized DPI is possible in the, as a concept. And third, self-regulating infrastructures are possible.
So what is the benefit for universities? Why they would invest any money in maintaining a node in each of their campus?
So it is, some universities are maintaining from their labs, some, 24/7. Some are maintaining, a VM is installed on their server rooms where already the server is up and running all the time.
But
so there is
what do they get out of it?
Okay, so what they get out of it? Okay, one, we have built a Beyond platform where, again, like rapid prototyping, which is built for governance applications, we have built 14 industry verticals focused DApp templates. And students of those universities can build blockchain applications on Bharat Blockchain Network. This is one. And second, with STPI, anyways, Chetanji will be talking about Poll and Propel, where students who do not understand anything about blockchain does their blockchain certifications on Beyond portal, then pick up a problem statement, pick up a DApp template, and then start building on Bharat Blockchain Network. So, though it is focused on education sector, but still students can build any use case, any application on Bharat Blockchain Network. So, that is a primary upskilling plus student startup plus some R&D. So, one of our university partners, they got a patent in blockchain for supply chain management application, which is built on Bharat Blockchain Network. Right? So there are multiple outcomes in terms of for a university to participate in Bharat Blockchain Network.
So that brings me to Chetanji, right? We have a young crowd here, right? And they are budding entrepreneurs, they are budding researchers, right? Budding professionals. Recently, just now, it was mentioned that there can be certain use cases where universities and the students, they can make use of blockchain, they can act like blockchain entrepreneurs, and you're actually into the thick of things. So please, if you can, enlighten us on that.
So if I'm audible, this is working? Yeah, so if I'm audible at the back, I know we are at the last session. How many of you are pursuing engineering? Can you raise your hands? All are busy with the mobile phones. So the reason we all traveled, ma'am traveled from Hyderabad, Arvindji also traveled from Hyderabad, Amit from Pune, we came for you guys. So the essence of all this tech, whether it is Ministry of IT, STPI, C-DAC, or even a very good initiative by VisionIAS as such, is about, getting India to the next level. Do we agree, ma'am? We agree. And this youth, which are you guys, unless you get into the thick and thin of the things, these 4 years, 5 years, whatever course you are pursuing, will never come back. This duration will never come. So, I represent a center of entrepreneurship. Excuse me, can I have your attention, please, the young people? Yes. So the essence is that we all know, I think a couple of decades back, 1990s, when the Wipro, Infi, TCS, which comes to the campus now, they started, we were, I think, 300 billion economy. Obviously US dollar. Today we are around Arvindji, 2 trillion? 3 trillion? Yeah. And this IT services industry grew, and today the whole world knows us. Now the next growth is going to come from startups. And who is going to do the startups? Do you think, I saw the seniors talking the last, session, someone who is having a CTC of 1 CR, 2 CR, for them to leave jobs, the opportunity cost is humongous. It's you guys, the young crowd, because you have that passion, you have those ideas, and we are there to support you. So the Center of Entrepreneurship I represent, we devised a program called Pre-Incubation Program, and we do that in emerging tech. Blockchain is our focus, that's why I'm here. And we train you guys in blockchain domain. I see a lot of you guys talking because you might not be having interest or might not be even knowing what blockchain technology is. Eswari ma'am went into the details of it. Arvind also continued it. So, unless you guys know what is blockchain, then we take you to that curriculum. We give you global certification, which you don't get, in any colleges, institutes in India. And then we group you in teams. We give you use cases. The use cases which Amit Bhai is going to talk. Ma'am said from a government standpoint, because they were pioneer. C-DAC started this from, as she said, from land record, solution, and then they were given this job of developing the overall stack of blockchain framework. There also, ma'am has provisioned NBF Lite, correct, for youth. I will request ma'am to come to it. Let me just conclude quickly. So the point is that you guys will have to get into each of these technologies like blockchain, find out your passion, then come to a CoE like us. We are there to upscale you from zero. And I don't go to IITs because I know you guys, IITs will have good campus placements and all that. You have good professors. I go to, tier 2, tier 3 cities, colleges, okay, where you have a batch of 600 tech students passing, Khatri Saab, and out of that only 100 get job. And that too a package of 3.5, 2.5. I mean, the package is not increasing. The Google CEO salary is increasing. Wipro CEO salary is increasing, but the package they are offering to those youngsters is not increasing. Now, this is a global debate, national debate. We can keep having the debate. But the real cause of that is the youth itself is not getting into these emerging techs. So it's high time. Blockchain, today we have 1,000 startups in country. I think roughly around that. We have 12% of the global workforce of blockchain trained manpower in India. We are $500 million USD with respect to the market of blockchain, and I would not name crypto because we are not supposed to talk about crypto. By the way, blockchain is the richest, because Bitcoin is based on our technology. So people know it, and the subject of today's topic was also beyond crypto. So, I request, the young tech minds, I call them, to come to us, get trained, get global certification, and then get into the entrepreneurship. We have a pre-incubation program, and there we give you use cases. You will develop a use case, stumble upon in your second year, third year, and by the time you are in final year, you might yourself come back to us with a use case which is really worth $1 million of seed fund, at a pre-market conditions, and we then screen you in formally. And once we do that formal screening, we give you the seed fund, and the government of India, Startup India, and all those things, get in. And ma'am has built a very fantastic NBF Lite. I would request ma'am to cover that also. How startups, young startups can leverage that.
So actually, there is a lighter version of National Blockchain Framework. We call it as NBF Lite. So you can go to blockchain.MeitY.gov.in. From there you can download it. On your desktop system, you can set up NBF Lite and build the blockchain applications. So it's a lighter variant for students, startups, researchers to build the applications that is built. Okay, rather than having a distributed environment and all, you can have minimum VMs on your system and then try to build that. So that is freely available. You can download and you can try to build innovative applications.
Okay, so the thing is, what I learned from this interaction is that even if I'm a first year old, even if I'm into my first year or second year or third year, right, or the fourth year of my IIT, then I can approach the center of excellence, center of entrepreneurship, and on the side, I can get a global certification. And even if I do not know B of blockchain, they will teach me how to build applications on blockchain frameworks like NBF Lite, which MAM's institute has developed, and which can open future career options, right? Not just for the campus placement purposes, but also from the startup perspective, right? And so you have also worked with the state governments. That is, see, government also provides a lot of business, right? A government is a big purchaser of goods and services. So you have also worked with certain state departments. So, sir, can you please share your experience of implementing the blockchain into something, of what you call as public good or public service with the state government, sir?
So, Khatri Saab, to answer your question, government and state government and use cases, ma'am is there, Amit will cover, and that's a bit of heavier subject. Because what right now we should for example, if now this Viksit Bharat story is to build, while a government use case will be there and we are there to resolve it, the youth has to come forward, and society like yours, VisionIAS, who has got this subsidiary, and you are doing this a fantastic program and tech summit, it's a very crucial subject that the STPI like bodies which are having these CoEs span country. Blockchain is just one. We have 20 plus of them, spread over country. We have 70 centers across country. We very closely collaborate with C-DAC also. We are all Ministry of IT bodies. Everywhere the messaging is that the global certification quickly turning into a startup, quickly raising some funds, becoming an employee, not looking for an employment, becoming an employment generator. So that's the crucial part. As far as, we are working very closely with Government of Haryana, Government of Rajasthan. We are presenting them the use cases or the solutions developed by our startups. Some of them are student startups. Recently, Honorable Chief Minister of Haryana, praised a Gurugram University student who incubated a startup at our place, our center, and he has been shortlisted for a presentation with the relevant department. So such innovation is the need of the hour, and government alone cannot resolve the whole momentum. And current geopolitical situation, where we know the way US, the way, the overall global scenario is unlocking. It is our own homegrown solutions. Recently, we saw Honorable Minister, our Minister, he, promoting Zoho, ma'am, correct? Zoho, that Zoho has been in India for long. Suddenly, we are realizing to that, shock. And that's the benefit that youth has. Only place and only sector where a youth can form a team of young tech minds, work on laptop machines. Every college has got that much of infrastructure, and can transform that idea into a pilot. We are there anyways to support them, but beyond us also is only emerging tech. Can they go and build a small building with civil construction, or a small, irrigation project, or a small aviation project? It would require huge funding and specialized, the chance of failure here and learning beyond failure is humongous, and that's what is the message from our side. I would like to welcome the youth here to our center in Gurugram. I mean, if there are professors sitting here, I would welcome them. We get HODs and VCs as far as Mumbai University. I just recently got a mail from Pune, MeitY University, talking about ET, Economic Times featured this Poland Propel initiative. I would leave that with the organizers for them to share it with. That's what is from the COE side. Thank you.
So, thank you, sir. Next, I would like to involve Mr. Amit Chandra, who has worked extensively with the government of Rajasthan. So, sir, since you have worked extensively with the government of Rajasthan, so which are, according to you, certain government processes which are more amenable to use of blockchain, and which are relatively not that amenable to blockchain, with certain use cases, and it will be really amazing if the use case, has been able to solve some governance issue.
So thank you for that. So basically, before answering the question of yours, it's very important to understand that why this event has been organized. The event has been organized, if you can see that the base layer is cyber security, right? So cyber security is something, a kind of, within the application, it's a kind of disease. And to prevent this disease not to happen, this technology will help, whether it is AI, blockchain, or other emerging technology. What AI will do, AI will be a kind of personal assistant for you, who is going to make your life easy. Whereas blockchain is something, the data which you are getting will be in trust data, okay, to which you can trust. Along with that, the data can be provided at a real time. Now the question is that, I will give an example that what type of solutions the government are looking for. I've interacted lots of department in government while I have been with the government of Rajasthan and other state. So when I visited one of the department, is the State Insurance Provident Fund department, they told me only one thing, and that's very simple, is that Amit, I have a logic, I have a slab, okay, pension slab, and I want that without my permission, no one will able to change that pension slab. And if that pension slab is getting changed, then the entire hierarchy is getting changed. So I told him that what type of hierarchy it is getting changed, means I didn't get. So he shown me a ledger of the employee pension, and he says that if any small changes is been done in a point wise also, then the entire 10 years ledger will get changed. So that type of security thread it has in that particular system. And it does not say that government is not taking the measure. There are already security features inbuilt in the system, but they want to make it more secure. That's why this kind of technologies comes into picture. You can think in such a way that if government is denying on cryptocurrency, right? But they are not denying the technology. They are not denying the technology, that this technology does not have the potential. They're denying the one aspect of the technology, that is cryptocurrency, right? Cryptocurrency is one part of blockchain. So when I interacted with the government department, they think of cryptocurrency as a blockchain. So first of all, that need to be clarified to all the students also over here, that if you're thinking that blockchain is cryptocurrency and cryptocurrency is blockchain, then you are wrong. It's a concept which can be used anywhere. Now, when I visited that department, coming to that point, he told me this point, and he has shown me that suppose this gets changed, then the entire 10 years data gets changed, and there are lots of revenue being calculated, or the amount get calculated to an existing employee. So can we change that? Can we protect that data? I said, okay, we can. Now the other thing, he told me that if someone gets changed it, then I want to know who changed it, at what location he's changed it, so that there will be a kind of dashboard where I can see that these certain things are changed. These are the simple things he told me. Now, the question as a solution advisor is that how we are going to do that, right? Now I've asked him that the pension slab which you are using, how frequently it is getting changed. He told me that no, it is not frequent. It's come when there is a kind of approval comes on, then it gets changed. So I suggested that why not you move this entire slab as a smart contract into a blockchain which become immutable. And based on that, you calculate the pension and all the things will get added. You keep on-chain all the important parameter, not all the data. Keep the important parameter. So he told me, right, okay, we can. Now, what the second question is that I want to find out that who changed the data, right? So the thing is that whenever anyone enters into the application, there is a private and public key associated with that. So with that, we can identify that which particular person has changed the data along with the location, along with the IP address, and along with the timestamp. And all this data will be stored into a blockchain as an immutable, and a person sitting in one place can easily click and view the data. Now we have to understand the current system problem. It's very important to understand the centralized system is good enough, very good. But the problem is transfer of data. Okay, when multiple departments are connected with each other, then it's very important and the business gets fast and decision making gets fast when the data is received by the counter department on a quickly basis. Now there comes the blockchain. Blockchain is a decentralized network. It means it acts as a twins node. If something happens in one node, immediately the other node will get reflected. It's a kind of two nodes working in a parallel way. Okay, so the thing is that we secure through the smart contract the entire logic, we secure the ledger, we secure the timestamp. Now the other problem comes in that the SIPF department approve everything and now it goes to the finance department to disburse the amount. Now there comes the other problem is that the discrepancy of the data, the employee data. So what happened is sometimes we go to a department, we change something, we don't change this to the other department. And because of which, when the data get propagated from one department to another department, it got rejected because of discrepancy. And the employee comes to know later on that something has happened and delay the entire process. So to resolve that, we suggested that why not to create a golden record. A golden record with set of parameter which is being used by all the department for their day-to-day regular basis and deploy it into a node with the help of a national blockchain framework or any blockchain framework which the state use, and that data will be secure and every department will refer the data and verify that whether that data is proper. For example, Aadhaar card. Aadhaar card is secure, DigiLocker is secure, DigiYatra is secure, but nowadays in the near future you will see all this application will be using blockchain. It does not mean that this applications are not secure. It means that we have to make it more secure and the chances should get reduced. That's where the cyber security comes into picture. New ideas should come into picture so that this kind of cyber threats, any kind of tampering, misuse of data can be received with latest type of technology. You will come across new technology apart from blockchain near future. But the thing is that currently, if you talk about emerging AI, blockchain as something which can provide you this kind of security features, and in blockchain is something that's very important nowadays. That's very, because you clearly says that cryptocurrency is everywhere. Government is not accepting now. Also, then also government is working on blockchain. It talks about the importance of data the government is looking for. So that's my take about one of a use case and success story which we have implemented. Other related are the citizen certificates, academic certificates, subsidy-based management.
That is more relevant because it leads to public interface, right? So when public knows that, okay, this is the, my certificate will not be first, my degree will not be first, right? So can you give one example?
West Bengal has implemented birth and death certificate. Okay. In Jharkhand, they have implemented seed distribution. Okay. The farmer are getting the seed based on the subsidy, but there is no tracking of that particular seeds, that whether the subsidy based on which the government has assigned and it has given to the agent to distribute it, whether it is going to the intended farmer or not. So that entire tracking is being done into blockchain with the help of OTP based management system. Okay. Academic certificate is very important use case. I was talking about agriculture, seed licensing, organic farming. Okay, the other are renewable energy. In renewable energy, blockchain could be implemented. NFT, non-fungible token. It's a kind of token which make an asset unique and there is no way one could tamper, says that, okay, there is a duplicacy of that asset. So lot of things are there, but as a student, you have to pick the problems which are around you. You have to think in that way. Don't think about technology. Think about problem first. Technology will solve it. Okay, so that's my overall idea of putting the things. Thank
So I
you.
was just reading about use cases. One use case, it came, from China. So there was some scandal with respect to false, fake ingredients being used in child food. So therefore,
Yes.
Nestle, it actually implemented, this thing on using blockchain,
Yes, yes.
whereby the parents, that is as a user, they can verify
Yes.
that whether the ingredients which are used in this particular product in this particular SKU,
Yes.
SKU SKU, whether they are genuine or they are not.
Yeah. So for
And
this,
then
yes.
Nestle went on to become the largest market player
Yeah.
in child food in China.
Yeah.
So
So we have.
So we have one product called Trust Flow, which is exactly doing that for supply chain management. Yeah, and that is made in India. Of course, we don't get that kind of branding. Back in 2019, we implemented this to Hetero Biopharma, one of the largest pharma companies in Hyderabad, where their end-to-end pharmaceutical supply chain trackability and traceability is done. Now US and Europe mandated that any product, digital product passport, any product which is entering into their country should have visibility to where it is sourced, where it got kind of processed, and where it got exported from. Because now the geopolitical conditions have made like the sanctions and all these are kind of getting bypassed, and there are multiple ways in which the products are moving across, the supply chains have become very fragile, right? Now to create one trust layer where there is single source of truth globally, that is where obviously permissioned blockchains can't do anything. Because can you bring consensus saying all the countries in the world to maintain nodes in a permissioned blockchain network? North Korea will say, no, if South Korea is maintaining node, I won't maintain the node. If US is maintaining the node, China will say, I won't maintain the node, right? So at the end of the day, public blockchain becomes very critical, important when global scale applications or global level trust is needed. While we spoke about beyond cryptocurrency, let me take little beyond the boundaries of India, because of course in India still we are kind of figuring out how do we deal with cryptocurrencies and all. But let me tell you, yesterday coincidentally, Nirmala Sitharaman ji was talking about stable coins. Now let me tell you what is stable coin. Stable coin is a cryptocurrency or a token which is issued on public blockchain, but its value is pegged to the real currency. So say for example, USDC is a stable coin. There is a reserve maintained by a bank or someone, okay, for some US dollars, and that many equivalent number of tokens are minted on public blockchain so that you can deal with fiat currency in crypto world. Now tell me, that means any transaction happening on stable coin through stable coins, okay, basically a small transaction fee is being paid to in cryptocurrency to that public blockchain network. Is that true? I mean, is that correct? So that means while we are debating public versus permission, all this, actually globally there are some hybrid trends which are happening, and I thought I'll highlight 3 of them. One is stable coin, where the traditional fiat currency is going to public blockchain. Crazy, right? I mean, definitely. Because that means any legitimate USDT transaction happening on an application layer is leveraging the cryptocurrency and the public blockchain infrastructure in the back end. This is one. Second interesting thing, Bitcoin ETF, where the traditional cryptocurrency is going into traditional stock exchange, where BlackRock, one of the largest asset management companies, creating their own private reserve of Bitcoin and then selling it as shares in the traditional capital market. So that means crypto is blending into traditional ecosystem and traditional ecosystem is blending into crypto. And the third use case which I thought I'll highlight is in Dubai, the land records department, okay, is issuing fractional ownership of the real estate on a public blockchain so that anyone in the world can get their KYC done and can own a piece of ownership of a real estate in Dubai. And recently, a $1.5 million worth of property got sold less than 50 seconds with 1,200 plus investors across the world buying that. So now tell me, is this centralized? Is this permissioned? Is this permissionless? No. It is convergence of all these three. Is land record system should be talking to blockchain layer, right? So a centralized system is talking to permissioned. That means whoever is authorized, like there is VARA, which is virtual digital assets regulatory body there, I mean in Dubai, who gave certain licenses to certain players to participate in this kind of fractional ownership, and then they are issuing or anchoring that asset on a public blockchain so that anyone in the world can prove their ownership. That means tomorrow, even if VARA goes off, even if land record, the land registry says something else, still anyone global need not trust VARA. Anyone global need not trust the land registry department of Dubai, but they can trust the trace of ownership on a public blockchain which is not under the control of any government in the world. So all I want to highlight is, I think India should come out of this debate of centralized versus permissionless versus permissioned, rather figure out what combination of these three will work out and create sandboxes, active sandboxes. There are many sandboxes which I am aware, but active sandboxes so that these combinations can work in tandem and create foreign direct investments into the country, or create seamless remittance from foreign countries to India at a lower cost by using stable coins, or third, see how the interdepartmental use cases on NBF can be built so that in scenarios, the trust can be anchored on public chain also if relevant. Right? So that's my perspective. Thank you.
So, well, there are constraints of time. We can go on and go on. One last take I would want from all the eminent panelists, beginning with ma'am. Ma'am, in next 5 years, and the question is like the same to all. In the next 5 years, where do you see India's blockchain ecosystem, or where would you want to see India's blockchain ecosystem so that you can get a feel that as a person of your respective sector, you have achieved your big milestone or victory?
See, actually, we want the blockchain to be adopted across all the states, at least 20-30 applications, where each application is going to be used by minimum 10 states. That kind of targets are there, and stack definitely will be enhanced with more AI features, DID and other things, AI governance, DPDP and other compatibility. And young minds, we want them to come out with innovative applications like Arvind is talking about his perspective. So young minds need to look at what is the kind of impact, how effectively we can try to utilize it. That is something that assessment has to be carried out. So where hybrid models, what are the applications where hybrid models will be more effective and what is the impact, that analysis can be carried out. And maybe we can look at having the DPI given globally also, National Blockchain Framework. We can go to other countries and extend the support to that.
So as a center of excellence, center of entrepreneurship, where do you see what will be agle 5 saal mein, what do you think that what is the business potential of this sector, sir?
So, like I said, we are at $500 million USD, roughly, the overall market for blockchain in India. And globally, it's around $1 trillion. Okay. Now there's a huge gap, and like ma'am said, the target we as a government entities have, that most of the states should start using it for the citizen services and so forth, so on. From the CoE perspective, MeitY gave us a target of 100 startups. We are very close to that. Now we have launched a pre-incubation program for students because we have realized that the young tech minds needs to be part of it. And they, that's a big gap. The youth empowerment needs to be mixed with that and these emerging tech, whether it's Ministry of Scale or Ministry of IT, we have to work in tandem. So at least out of those 1,000 startups which we have in this domain today in India, recognized by DPIIT, we want another 200 to 300, from one COE like us. And we are now going hub and spoke model. Okay, we are leveraging our centers. We are leveraging academia because there are a lot of Atal incubation centers. I saw IIT Roorkee COE also being a sponsor here. So we are going and tying up there and pushing our blockchain perspective because alone technology, it has to have an intersection with IoT, AI, and so forth, so on. So there's a huge opportunity, and I'll just conclude that any blockchain tech resource, someone who has done some certification, Arvindji, you can correct me, starts with a package of around 6 to 7 lakhs. Okay, global market is looking for those things, from India. So I don't know, that opportunity somewhere our youth is missing, but I know they are, they have their own ways and means to figure out. They are Gen Z, and I hope they would pick up very soon with us. We are really eagerly waiting for them. Thank you.
Amit sir, since you have worked extensively with the government, so where do you see जो आपका experience रहा है, can it transform the governance efficiency at all India level if those things are implemented at center?
See, the progress says everything, right? We have a digital rupee, right, which is coming on, or e-rupee, and I closely monitor the tenders of blockchain. All the states are coming out with the tenders, right? The thing is that the states are doing, so if the policy comes in, then that will be great, okay? And the Data Protection Act, there should be certain kind of thing mentioned about the technology. If you talk about 10 years, yes, I say it's a bright future because of Digi Yatra, DigiLocker, along with that all other Aadhaar-based system. All this we can see that could be protected with this technology. So it's the right time that you learn, and this technology is not something that you wake up one day and you start learning. There are a lot of technical jargons in that, so you have to prepare from the start. You have to learn, you have to read various kind of use cases and the news which are going on around you. Then only you will be able to correlate with this technology. First of all, you have to, everyone has the mindset of centralized system. So first of all, the mindset need to be changed from centralized to decentralized, right? So once that is been done, then you will be able to pick the things. So it's the right time. Everyone, see what happened now, if there is one success story, everyone go for that. AI has a success story as ChatGPT, everyone says that ChatGPT is boom. I agree on that. But how about the security? If you're talking about the security, then it's need a security layer, right? So, and no one look into that security features because that is not boom. So it's the right time to go ahead with this technology. And as Chetanji told that government has given you the platform, right? It's Make in India. So it's the right time that you approach STPI CoE. We are a knowledge partner at CoE. You come there, you learn, you develop your own technology and go to market and make it in India strong. So that's my takeaway. Okay.
Arvind sir, in a very small and crisp manner, your final words on this.
So I believe next 5 years your mobile phone might be maintaining a node and facilitating consensus on some use cases of national importance or global importance, whatever. And then you are earning just by using your mobile phone and just allocating some compute power and memory for a blockchain layer. So I believe that is what maybe in 5 years things might be coming up. And with respect to speeds, at some point Bitcoin was just 7 transactions per second, Ethereum 14, but now with proof of stake, they kind of moved to 3000 kind of. But I'm also seeing bullish on some frameworks, especially Hashgraph and DAGs. where 10,000 to 1 lakh transactions per second kind of may happen, then the citizen scale use cases will become more and more feasible. And I believe these are like two angles where I feel the future is going to move towards.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, audience. And it was really a great learning experience for all of us. So what we really need is an ecosystem whereby senior personnel from the research part, the people who are into the entrepreneurial domain, the people who work, who provide the platform for PPP, right, and the people who are into the use cases, including it's a whole ecosystem. So thank you, everyone. Thank you.